At least 60 people have been killed at a displaced persons camp in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Head of a local humanitarian group and a witness say the CODECO militia was responsible for the attack that has left 63 people dead. The attack took place at the Savo camp in Ituri Province. According to the United Nations, the CODECO militia have killed hundreds of civilians in Ituri in recent years and forced thousands to flee their homes. IDP camps have been the latest target for attacks. The UN Migration Agency IOM says the Savo displacement site was home to about 4,000 people in December. We earlier spoke to John Kabwa, a resident at the Savo camp near Bule in Ituri Province, and this is what he had to say.
It was about 10 p.m. when CODECO attacked a refugee camp in Mbule in Jugu and killed at least 57 and injured 18, most of them children. Security officers have been deployed, but our main concern is that the government has forsaken the people. Killings have been going on and MONUSCO is not protecting the IDPs. The killings have been happening for the last 4 years, and the internally displaced in Jugu region are not protected. The IDPs are suffering. There is no food. The government is not helping its people, and the UN has been unable to bring back peace. We don't know who will help us.
And for more on this developing story, we are joined live by CGTN's Christo Chamringa, who is in Kinshasa, and Tom Pierre Costa, Regional Media Advisor for Central and West Africa, Norwegian Refugee Council based in Niamey, Niger, via Skype. Thank you both for joining us. Chris, let's begin with you. What is the latest on the attacks at that displacement camp in Ituri Province?
Well, authorities in Ituri Province say that there are 50 people, at least 50 people have been admitted to a local hospital with very serious injuries. These were people who were attacked by the gunmen who stormed the internally displaced people's camp with the machetes. There are local officials there who are confirming that there are 60 people who have been killed in this attack. And so there's a very sad moment for the people there. People are in mourning. The local leaders of that area have written a strongly worded letter to the government saying that they have to take the issue of the security of the people there very seriously, because people have been continuously dying, being killed by these militiamen in the area. No group has claimed responsibility for this attack, but like you mentioned, all the leaders and the army in that area are saying that this was carried out by the CODECO, the Cooperative for the Development of Congo militia, that is largely composed of people from the Lendu ethnic group that has had a long history of rivalry with another group of cattle keepers known as the herders. And the local officials are now appealing to the government. They have made an appeal to President Felix Tshisekedi to do whatever is possible to ensure that peace is restored in their area.
Tom, the Norwegian Refugee Council has been working with the displaced in the camp. What is the situation like?
I don't hear you.
Tom, if you can hear me, we know that the NRC has been working with the displaced in the camp. What's the situation like?
Well, there has been a massacre yesterday. At 9 p.m., an armed group attacked the camp of Plain Savo, where the Norwegian Refugee Council works. There has been 59 victims, including 14 children. So obviously today there is a sense of terror in the camp, but across the region as well, because since the last months of November, there has been a new trend from armed group in attacking displacement camp, deliberately attacking displaced people. And this is a new trend, so it's very concerning, and nothing justifies this violence. So we are really condemning this act today, and we are also calling authorities to make sure that there is a better protection for displaced people in Congo.
Chris, how has the government reacted to the attacks in Ituri?
Well, the government has expressed its condolences to the families of the victims, and the military governor of Ituri Province says the army is going to hunt down the perpetrators of this violence in all their strongholds and ensure that they get justice for all the victims of this tragic violence in Ituri Province. But some of the people I spoke to in Ituri Province are saying these are promises, empty promises from from the authorities, because whenever there's a killing, whenever people are killed in large numbers in Ituri Province, the government always makes this promise that they're doing their very best to ensure that there's no killing. So people are very, very disappointed with the government. And this is one of the worst attacks in Ituri Province in a very long time. Last June, there was a similar attack on a displaced people's camp. There were two camps actually, Boga and Chabi, where 50 people were killed. And so this is one of the worst attacks in a very long time, because this conflict between the Hema and the Lendu is a long one that dates back to the 1990s, and that time it sucked in countries from the neighboring region. So people there are looking for a long-lasting solution to this problem, where all the time people have to flee their homes to neighboring areas, people who are already struggling to just put food on their table. Penina?
And Tom, people looking for a long-lasting solution, you said nothing justifies this kind of attacks. What do you think needs to be done to avoid such attacks in the future?
Well, there needs to be more dialogue between communities. This violence has been rising since 2017 in Ituri region in northeast Congo. It's mainly an intercommunal conflict between Hemas, who are herders, who have cattle, and Lendus, who are farmers. So they fight over land, and nothing has been done really to put them together and to make them discuss at the table. So this needs to be prioritized, but in the same time, what needs to be done as well is to talk about Congo not only when there is a massacre. People are getting killed every day in this region, but in Congo there is more than 5 million people displaced and 30 million people facing hunger. So what needs to be done is that we need to talk about Congo more regularly. It needs to be prioritized by political leaders. It needs to be covered more by the media, and more funds need to be given by the international community and donor governments. That's what needs to be done.
Oh, thank you very much, Tom Pierre Costa, live for us in Niamey, Nigeria, and Christo Chamringa live in Kinshasa, the Democratic Republic of Congo.